Hey guys, it's Sam. If you keep up with me on social media, you'll remember that in a previous video I stated that I wanted to try something different and then I wanted to start creating more personal videos. I plan on telling you guys bits and pieces of my story. The good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly. Everything that I discuss is going to be 100% the truth. If you don't believe me, don't really care. You don't want to watch it? Don't fucking watch it. Now that that's out of the way, I want to move on to the first topic. Now, the reason that I want this topic to be the first video is because I continue to struggle with it on an everyday basis, and I probably will struggle with it for the rest of my life. I suffer with depression and anxiety. And I know what you're thinking.
Everyone suffers with anxiety and depression. Having a mental illness is a new trend.
I'm not one of those people who claim they have anxiety and depression because it's the fucking in thing to do. I'm also not one of those people who will claim they have a mental illness in order to avoid their everyday responsibilities, or use it as an excuse to do nothing with their fucking lives. I was evaluated, I was diagnosed. I'm not just saying it just to say it. I have paperwork proving it. And I was diagnosed when I was in 7th grade. I'm gonna be 24 years old, so you can do the math on how long it's been since I was diagnosed. The trend of having a mental illness is fucking recent. I had this way before this fucking stupid ass trend started. Now there's a lot more that I can say about this topic, but I'm going to not do that right now because it's gonna completely distract me from what I was planning to do in the first place. I will definitely be making a rant video about this, and if you're interested in watching it, let me know. Anyway, they say that when a child suffers from mental illness, it's something that you recognize right away. It's something that you'll start to notice when they're very, very young. When it comes to me, there were a lot of obvious signs in my early stages of youth. However, I feel like they were confused for other things. One obvious sign was eczema. And I know, it's fucking disgusting, but I'm telling you how it is. If you don't know what eczema is, it's when you have a really bad skin condition and your skin starts to form these kind of like rashes that are scaly and sore and open. The itchiness just does not stop, and it is extremely, extremely painful and extremely unattractive. I was so fucking embarrassed to have that as a kid. You want to hear what my stupid ass did? Because of how embarrassed I was as a child and I didn't think with my fucking brain, when someone actually saw the eczema on my arm and asked me what the hell it was, you want to know what I said?
I got into a fight with a dog and the dog won.
Yeah, because that's really smart to tell a teacher. Clearly that teacher didn't do their job and report something like that, but thankfully they didn't because it was just fucking eczema. Studies have showed that anxiety is one of the most persistent causes of someone's stress. So those living with anxiety may be prone to constant eczema breakouts. As you can tell, this was not told to me and my family when I was a kid. They just assumed that it's some kind of allergy, let's just put some cream on and it'll be okay. Another obvious sign is that I was constantly getting sick. My stomach was always hurting me, I was always throwing up, I would break out in sweats, my hands would start to shake, I would have problems breathing, and my parents are concerned so they take me to the doctor. And these tests were fucking annoying. I had to go to like a bajillion doctors. One doctor made me drink this big ass cup of some kind of like thick orange shit that tasted like chalk. I had to get an endoscopy done. An endoscopy is when they use a little camera to put down your throat just so they can peek inside your insides to see what the hell's going on. And they come out with,
She has irritable bowel syndrome.
IBS. Symptoms include abdominal pain, diarrhea, constipation, bloating, puking. The doctor said,
Oh, this can be maintained. All you need to do is put her on a strict diet and she'll be alright.
Strict diet? I'm a fucking kid, man. I'm in fucking 1st grade. I live for bad food. Couldn't eat anything fried, couldn't eat anything with caffeine, couldn't eat anything with citrus or acid. Oh god, it was so fucking painful to go through this. It's terrible when you're in 1st grade and you have to see all the kids at lunchtime eating chips and soda and this and that, and then you can't eat dick. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have IBS. I'm pretty sure I did. All I'm saying is I'm pretty damn sure that my anxiety is what caused it. I don't know why the doctors didn't suggest my parents take me to a therapist. I was fucking scared. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Why put me through that so these fucking doctors can make money? It's not fucking right. All I needed to do was go to a fucking therapist, and not one doctor suggested that. All I needed was one fucking doctor to suggest it. Just one fucking doctor. It would have saved my parents time. It would have saved me time. Maybe seeing doctors and taking medications and going through procedures could have all been avoided. And maybe it really could have fucking saved me for what was gonna happen next. When I was 10 years old and I was in 5th grade, that's when everything in my life started to change. My grandfather had lost his battle to cancer. And even though it was something that was expected, to me, it wasn't expected. Because my family was so concerned with how me and my siblings would react to it, I feel like they downplayed everything that was going on with my grandfather. There are a lot of things that I know now that I wasn't told back then. Christmas 2003, my grandfather was supposed to go to the hospital. And I feel like he really knew that he was going to die, and he wanted to make sure that he spent that Christmas with all of us before he went to the hospital. He went to the hospital the next day. And because of how they downplayed it, I felt like I didn't really take it that seriously. I knew that he was supposed to go to the hospital, I just didn't know how serious it was. So when my dad woke me up to say, hey Sam, Papa's going to the hospital, I was like, okay. And I didn't get up to say goodbye because I thought that he'd be coming back. My grandfather, he didn't want to have me and my siblings really at the hospital. He knew that he was going to die, and he didn't want us remembering Papa as the sick man in bed. And because of this, I only got to see him in the hospital one time. And I remember saying to him before I left, Papa, I love you, I'll see you soon. I believe it was that day where my Aunt Fran sat me and my sister down and explained to us that Papa wasn't going to be coming home. And when I heard that, it was like the whole world just shut off. I could not believe that was happening because I was made to feel like he was going to come home. So when I was told that he wasn't, it was like everything just fell apart. My Uncle Bobby passed away when I was 5, and I was clearly way too young to understand what was going on. But when it came to Papa, I was completely aware of what was happening. Him and Nanny had lived in our house. It was a conjoined home where we were upstairs and Nanny and Papa were downstairs. Nanny and Papa were our 24/7. We looked at Papa like he was our second father. So now all of a sudden that he's gone, we are able to see it and feel it. Everyone in my family was falling apart. My mom, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my father, my grandmother. Nanny completely changed. Nanny wasn't the smiley, happy person that brought life to everyone in the room. She was depressed. She was staying in bed all day. She wasn't really talking to anybody. She was crying all the time. And I couldn't understand why. Why did this happen? Why did he have to be taken? Why did he have to get sick? Why wasn't I told the truth? Why didn't people tell me how sick he was? Why didn't they let me see him in the hospital more often? Why couldn't I have been prepared better so that way I could have made sure to say goodbye? Because of all these unanswered questions, it turned me into a very angry person. I started acting out in school. I started being very cruel to my friends. I would get physical with my friends. I would hit them. I would punch them. I would kick them. I would push them. I stopped saying sorry. I told myself, fuck it. What do I have to apologize for? I had really close friends that I lost because of how I treated them. And at the time, I didn't care if I lost them or not. I told myself, hey, you want to fucking leave? Bye. I don't need you. I had told myself that the only person that I really needed was gone. And now that he was gone, I didn't need anyone else.